Hello guys, welcome back to the channel, and in this video I'm showing you how to make the most powerful ninja in Killing Floor 3. Now this is all to do with stacking your bonus abilities. To stack your bonus abilities, all you have to do is go to the armory and create mods. So here we have my custom katana, and the way bonus abilities work is you can actually stack 3 bonus abilities on each weapon. These stack up to 3 times. So I'll show you an example of what I mean. If we use the ornate guard, for instance, so if we go down to ornate guard, you can see that it's got a Z time rampage on it. Z time rampage increases melee and bash damage by 20% during Z time. Now we can have up to 3 Z time rampage effects on this weapon. So 3 times 2 is 60, so 246. Yeah, 60% increased melee and bash damage during Z time. That is a huge buff to this weapon. So I have Z time rampage on the ornate guard. I also have it on this, so the edge of the weapon is also got Z time. But how to get Z time, because it is a random effect? Well, all you have to do is be lucky when you're crafting. So I'm going to show you how this works. Serrated edge, this is what I've gone for. You can go for any of these, like all these will have bonus effects on them, but it's random, as I say. So I'm crafting it. As you can see, the effect this time is bounce back serrated edge. We don't want that, so what we're going to do is recycle, and then we get some of our resources back, and then we can go again. Boss Basher. Now this is actually quite a good one. You deal 5% more damage to bosses, and if we get 3 of these abilities, we have 15% more damage to bosses. So that's actually quite a good one, but I'm going to show you, the chances of getting Z time. So we're going to recycle that, and basically you just have to keep going until you get Z time. And there we go, Z time, rampage serrated edge, increase melee and boss and bash damage by 20% during Z time. One more thing that is on tier 3, so to unlock the bonus ability you do have to upgrade this 3 times, which looks like this. So we go down to Z time rampage, upgrade, like this, up to 3 times, and now we have that increased 20% damage during Z time. And that's really, really useful. So what I recommend is having 3 Z times and also having the Melee Master. So those are the 2 bonus abilities you want for the ninja. And this is going to make you do absolutely insane damage. So as you can see, we have Melee Master on the coating. We have Melee Master on the grip. We have Z time on the blade. We have Z time on the guard. And we have Melee Master on the pommel. So I've explained what Z time is. Now, what is Melee Master? Well, this gives you 2.5% more melee damage and 20% more bash damage. Again, if we stack that 3 times, we have 60% more bash damage and 2.5 times 3 more melee damage. So really, really good. And those are the 2 bonus abilities. So just keep recycling your mods and wait till you get those 2 abilities. Now, one thing, a little way you can, deviate from this a tiny bit is instead of using the Melee Master bonus ability, you can also get the Boss Bash ability. So I did show you it earlier. Where's the Boss Bash? Here we go, Boss Basher. So this gives you 5% more damage to bosses, and then if you stack this 3 times, you have 15% more damage to bosses. This is really useful if you are playing solo. So an extra 15% more damage to bosses is going to come in clutch when you're playing solo and you have no one else to rely on. So if you do want to change anything about this, swap the Melee Master for the Boss Basher. One thing I do have to mention as well is that you do need a lot of resources to do all this. So as you're recycling, you actually get back less than you put in, and I'll give you another example of this. So this costs, this reinforced grip, it costs 15 of the biosamples, and it costs 6 grey matter. So if we're going to recycle this, we only get 10 biosamples and we only get 4 grey matter. So you basically have to pay 20% extra, or in other words, you get 20% less back So make sure you are aware of that. You do need a hell of a lot of resources in order to recycle. But when you do find the ones you want and the bonus abilities you want, it makes all the difference. This is basically for the Killing Floor 3 purists who want the absolute most optimized build possible. It's all about getting resources, recycling until you roll the exact mod you want. So there we go, 271 damage, 690 secondary damage, electrical damage, cut damage, and a hell of a lot of damage going on. Also, we don't have to reload, so that's one of the benefits of the ninja. Now I have modded my shurikens as well, and this is my custom shuriken, which I recommend doing. And we have the confusion venom, which is the best part of this weapon. So the weapon coating adds confusion, and with this I have 100% confusion affliction. This essentially means when you damage an enemy, they're going to take that damage, but they're also going to be confused and turn on their allies. So the result of this is just having Zeds that go after each other and attack each other instead of attacking you. This obviously buys you some time and it gets some Zeds off your back, but also those Zeds are doing damage to each other, so they're just going to run out of health a lot quicker. Really, really useful to have confusion on the shurikens. I've also got the ring blades, so the Z-Time Rampage ring blades. This adds, you know, as with the other weapon, the katanas, this adds increased melee and bash damage by 20% during Z-Time. Now, what I believe about this is that this also stacks with the mod on our katanas. So I believe the effect stacks between weapons or across weapons. I believe that stacks, although I can't find definitive information anywhere. So, I mean, I'm going to throw this question out to the community. If you're watching this, does the bonus ability carry across and stack across weapons, or does it need to be on one single weapon? I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you've got any insight into that. Now, before I show you my skills, I'm going to show you one more really important thing, and that is that not every bonus ability is on every mod. So for instance, if we're going to take Z-Time Rampage is only on the following pieces of this weapon. So you can only get Z-Time Rampage on Blade, you can only get it on the Guard and the Pommel. So if you're looking for Z-Time Rampage on the grip, for instance, you will not find it. So you can recycle as many as you want and you won't find Z-Time Rampage on the grip. Now that can be a bit confusing because, well, how do you know if you're recycling pointlessly because you're never going to get Z-Time Rampage? Well, good news, because there is a massive spreadsheet of all of the different mods that, all the different bonus abilities, sorry, that all the mods have, and it's so useful. This was made on Reddit, so someone posted this on Reddit, and we have these people to thank for coming up with this spreadsheet, so thank you so much for this. And this is just so helpful in determining what mods you need and what bonus abilities are tied to each piece of the weapon. And it's not just the ninja, we have bonus abilities for all of the other classes. So if you want to, you know, min-max the Firebug build, for instance, you can keep on crafting those mods and rolling different effects until you get the effect you need. Really, really useful. Thank you so much once again. Now we're going to get onto the perks of the ninja, and this is where all of the good stuff happens. So here you can see all the perks I've gone with, and the way to play the ninja, or how I like to play, is essentially doing the most damage during Z-Time. So this is fully geared towards Z-Time. So we're going to be triggering Z-Time, we're going to be spending more time in Z-Time, and that's where all of our damage is going to be done. The second part of this build is all about blocking. So we're going to be tanking loads of damage, being totally invulnerable to attacks while we're blocking. There's also a lot of parrying action going on, so it's blocking, parrying, and Z-timing all the way across the map. And this is good if you're playing solo or if you're playing multiplayer. So number one, we have this one. So level 2, maximum armor is increased by 50, and stamina loss while blocking attacks is reduced by 50. So this gives you more time spent in the defensive posture and more time absorbing those attacks. That's a must. Next one, we have the Kujikiri. Performing a perfect parry increases weapon damage by 25% for 5 seconds. Now, perfect parry is a bit difficult in Killing Floor 3. I've noticed a lot of people complaining that the timing is a little off, and the timing is even worse when you're playing with someone who's, you know, in a different country or a bit further away. So perfect parrying is a little tricky at the moment. Hopefully that gets updated. But the way that I like to compensate for this is parrying slightly before the enemy attack. So if you think an enemy is going to attack at this point, just, you know, parry a millisecond or two before that attack actually lands, and that will compensate for that. Now on level 14 we have Demon Stance. This is really important in the blocking portion of this build. So take no damage from enemy and environmental ground damage effects. So if there's, for instance, fire or bile on the ground, when you are blocking, you take no damage from this. You also take 25% reduced damage from all explosion and spray damage effects. So actually, that was a lie what I just said. You will take 25% less damage from the bile and the explosions. You won't take 0 damage. It's just that the 0 damage comes from the enemy and environmental ground damage effects. So hopefully clear that bit up. Also this one, the Saki Jutsu. Performing a perfect parry stumbles all enemies in a radius around you, and this radius is increased by 60%. So it basically just increases the effectiveness of the perfect parry. Now finally we have Unyielding. Killing an enemy with a melee weapon restores 3 health and grants 30% increased melee weapon damage for 5 seconds. And actually the really good tip with this is that additional kills refresh this duration. So essentially the momentum can keep on building and you're just getting 30% increased melee weapon damage over and over again. Unyielding +3, really good. Now the throwables, this is where I've gone for the throwables, basically, you know, increasing the capacity, increasing the radius, and increasing the duration, especially with the Inazuma. That just increases the electrical damage and the duration. Now the gadgets. Here's the path I've gone through with the gadget. We have the shockwave radius increased by 80. We have increased weapon damage while you have no charges. So if you've used up all of your charges, you actually get more damage. That's really useful. This one, every third use of the gadget deals increased pass-through and finisher damage. And this one, pass-through damage is increased by 25%, the radius of that. Now here's the really good one. On level 30 you unlock a really good effect. Taking damage that reduces you to below half health instantly refreshes all charges of your gadget. So this is pretty amazing. If you're taking damage and your health goes below half, you instantly get an extra gadget use. So if you're worried that you're going to be knocked down to 0 health, this gives you an extra gadget and you can use that to get out of jail free. So that's really useful. It will take you a while to get up to level 30, but when you do, you've got something good waiting for you. Okay, we're going to get into a match and I'm going to show you what a fully upgraded ninja can do. Before we begin, just a thing on operational budgets. Always make sure to spend this because you do not get it back. So your starting cash up here, 1660, make sure to spend that because you don't get it back if you don't spend it. So for instance, I'm going to buy the upgraded Shuriken, my custom Shuriken, make sure to buy that. And if you have any money left over, buy a piece of body armor. I don't in this instance, but if I did, I would make sure to buy that body armor. Yeah, no point saving money before a match because you don't get that money back. But let's just skip to wave 3. And what we have on this, just to remind you, is the Z time Rampage, which gives you 20% extra melee damage and bash damage while in Z time. And we also have the Melee Master bonus ability. And the Melee Master gives you 2.5% melee damage just flat out and also 20% bash damage as well. So that's not in Z time, that's just all the time. And of course, I have stacked these effects 3 times. So we have, you know, if it's 20%, it's times 3, which is 60. So 60% more bash damage and 60% more melee damage in Z time. Let's use some projectiles here. There we go. Now, another kind of question I want to ask to you guys, to my viewers, is so I have the 60% bash damage boost by default, just in normal gameplay, and I also have the 60% bash damage during Z time. What I want to know is, if you are in Z time, does bash damage therefore go up to 120? Because it's 60% extra in Z time, and it's 60% extra in normal time. So does the bash damage go up to 120? Well, I'm testing that out right now. Let's see if it does. But hey, if you've got any insight into that, do let me know down in the comments. That's what you guys are good at. You guys are good at, you know, telling me extra little tips. I also do have a Discord as well if you want to join that. The link is in the description of this video. So if you've got any tips you want to share, definitely put them down in the Discord, and I will make sure to read those out in the next video. And what I like about this as well, you can totally block the projectiles from the husks. There we go, no damage. Although a tiny bit of armor damage, but literally 2. You do want to take, you do want to stay away from the fire, because the fire will damage you. Although we do have the 20% reduction of fire and the 20% reduction of the bile due to one of our perks from the skill tree, so that's useful. We have another Scrake. Let's see if we can take them out pretty quickly. And there we go. Easy. Nice little parry. But I think the ninja is my current obsession. I'm loving the ninja right now. And that's why. It's just so much fun. Parrying, blocking, and then slicing straight through every enemy. It doesn't matter. They could be Skrakes, they could be Husks, Sirens, whatever. Any Zed does not pose a threat at all. Even when you're backed into a corner, you can execute, you can parry, and it's so much fun. So there we go. That was my ninja build in Killing Floor 3. Fully optimized with the damage, all the reductions, Z time, all of that lovely good stuff, and also rolling the optimal mods possible. So let me know what you think of that video, guys, and if you've got any ways to optimize this further, let me know down in the comments. Remember to subscribe for more Killing Floor 3 guides.